But how hard is it really truly to be fit and have energy? It's not that complex. It's not like reserved for the 1% or expensive to learn. You have to interrupt, you have to hide from the answers to those things.
I want you to know that you matter. Not anybody else, but you. You matter.
But I think it only seats 4 people or 5. It's really small. Then he's got an 8-passenger helicopter, pilot and a co-pilot and 6 passengers. It's the latest state-of-the-art fine machine.
I want you to struggle, I want you to hurt, I want you to bleed, I want you to fight, because this is that time. Show the world and show up, and most importantly, do your job and do that business. Remember the time when you wanted more, the time when there were people in your life that did not believe in you. Remember the time when you honestly gave up on the possibilities of the uniqueness that you met inside. Remember, there was a time that you complained so much, but yet did so little. That comes to a point in your life that you must recognize that there's a little bit more that has to be done than just complaining about it.
First time ever in a comedy club, I won $50. I only went on a dare. I cried all the way from the comedy club to my house. The girl I was with named Gladys Jacobs said, "Why you crying? It ain't but $50. I said, no, you don't understand. I was born tonight. Well, I've been asking God my whole life, what's my purpose? I need to find something that I do. I won $50, first time in a comedy club. I went to work the next day, October 9th, and quit my job with $50 in my pocket. Married, twins, $50. My ex-wife said, you can't do that. That's foolishness. Her mother told me, you're not even funny. My mother told me, boy, you don't do stuff like that. You work like your daddy and your brothers. I said, no, Mama, this is what I was born to do.
The real problem is the second S, story. See, the reason the person's making progress, they may not know what to do. Sometimes that's true. But some don't know what to do and they don't do what they know. That's most people. Yes. And so why? They have a story that says, it's a set of beliefs they tell themselves over and again. I've tried everything. Or if they're single, all the good ones are gone. Whatever the story is, and if you tell yourself a story over and over again, Hitler used to say, tell a story big enough, loud enough, long enough, people believe you. Well, we're Hitler to ourselves. We convince ourselves. The thing we really need though is, you always come up with a lousy story when you're in a lousy state. And so the number one thing I show people to do is how to change their emotional state. When you're feeling tired or frustrated, when you learn how to change your body so that you really feel excited, it isn't fake. When you learn how to change your biochemistry, which is what I teach people to do. For example, when you're in love, when you're upset with someone, do you ever notice how you can now remember everything that they've ever done that ever upset you?
And my mother was saved and, Sunday school teacher, so I believed everything my mama told me, but this one time I said, Mama, I got to go try this. I said, this is it for me. I said, if I don't do this, what I'm gonna do? She said, you're gonna work like your daddy did. Your daddy worked hard. I said, okay, well, I just work hard, but I'm gonna go be something. The only person in my family that believed in me was my father. He said, boy, if you think you can make it, go ahead. And if you need some help, I'll give you 100 every now and then. And I've done nothing since that day except tell jokes. Now, I got in a lot of trouble. By the time I was 30, I was homeless. Because the first year in comedy, I only made $3,500. The next year, I made $5,000. The third year in comedy, I made $6,800. You get homeless real fast. So I was trying to make my little money and send it to my wife and kids, but it wasn't enough. So I would just keep $25.
And when you're in love, when you're totally in love, everybody make the sound of being in love. Try it. It's been a while for some of you, clearly. Let's try it again. Out of your mind in love, you can't stop thinking about the person. Make the sound how that feels. Go for it, everybody. We'll work on that. But when you're in love, what's wrong with life? What's wrong with anything? When you're in love, we have no money. Who cares? We're in love. Right? So your emotional state controls the story you have about your life, and then your story determines whether you find a strategy, or even if you know the strategy, whether you really do it or not. When people say I tried, what they're really telling me is I have a story that says I should try this, but it's really not gonna work. So I give it a half-reared attempt and it didn't work, and now I can tell people I tried. What you really gotta do is learn to change your emotion, your state, change your story, and then you can find the strategy, or you can make the strategy to work.
When you wake up in the morning, I want you to know what you do matters. When you brush your teeth in the morning, I want you to know that you matter. When you iron your clothes in the morning and you don't feel like getting out of bed, I want you to know that you matter. I want you to understand that you matter, because what you do could change somebody's life and the trajectory of what they can overcome. I want you to know that you matter because nobody ever told me that I matter. I want you to know that you matter because you got people that's dependent on you right now. You may have some kids. You may have some younger siblings.
Have to realize that you don't have any other opportunities waiting for you. If you're not willing to work for the first opportunity that's been given to you, you don't have a lot of time left, so there's no reason to complain. You're not even in a position to complain. You have to figure out that there has to be another idea about you, and you have to understand that there has to be something even greater and more challenging waiting for you. And if you're not willing to step outside of your comfort zone, if you're not willing to understand the principles and the possibilities that you have within yourself, then everything that you are thriving for, everything that you are hungry for, will soon come to an end.
Then I thought I'd like to live in a mansion, have all the stuff. But then I go visit someone who's got the mansion and the security and the servants and the groundskeepers, and this whole house is just almost like chaos. And you have a cup of coffee and you drink it and you can't even set your own coffee cup down. Somebody comes and takes it away. And I say, with my temperament and style, this is really not for me. I've got to live a little more simple life. But for someone else, a house full of servants and groundskeepers and security and the whole entourage, that's for them. But if they wanted it and later changed their mind to live a little more serene life, then that's okay too. Did you ever get that mansion on the hill with all those servants? That, yeah, I went for that for a while, but the more I went to some places where people lived like that, the more I thought, no, this is really not for me. Having my fishing line in a tranquil stream in Montana, I think now suits my style a little better.
Now I'm not here to preach to you about this. I'm here to let you know that there are things that are going on around you. Right now, they are far greater than your complaining. You're complaining about so much, but yet you show no action. If you could trade places with someone right now, and the person that you're trading places with may have it just a little bit tougher than you have it going on in your life. Right now, so many people are suffering from so many things in this world at this moment, but yet you're complaining. So many people in this world right now wish they could trade places with you, but yet you're still complaining.
You may have mom, dad, grandma, auntie. There's somebody out there that's dependent on you. So I want you to know that you matter. You have the ability. And you have the tools. And all of the amazing characteristics that are on the inside of you are ready to come out and come to fruition. And ready to see you walking your purpose and who you were called to be and what you were called to do. Because you and I are the aspirin to somebody's headache. How long are you gonna let them suffer? So I want you to know that you matter. Because I remember my 8th grade teacher told me I'll never be anything in life. I'll either be dead or in jail. So I want you to know that you matter.
I did a seminar in each city, in 13 cities, a month. I had the elaborate entourage. It was unbelievable. One day I decided, someday I shall have no office, I shall have no secretary, I shall be free. And sure enough, that day finally arrived. People ask me now, what is your email address? And I say, I do not have one. I do have a website that someone else runs, but I have really simplified my life. A company that I do a lot of business with around the world asked me, do you want an office? I said, no. I said, do you want a secretary? I said, no. Then I did say once, yes, I'm going to have this satellite and put a fax machine in my motorhome so that I can be in touch but out of reach. I want somebody to say, yes, you can contact him, but you can't find him for a while.